Lindsay, you call the roll, please.
David,
Here.
Shanda,
Here.
Bo,
Here.
Steve,
Here.
Corey,
Here.
Barry.
Here.
We have a quorum. He's not on yet. We have a quorum.
Brad.
He's not on yet. We have to,
Here.
well, we haven't appointed him on this board. We just made the recommendation from the county commission. Now we have to, so we don't get to see if you're here yet, Brad. We will in just a couple minutes.
Sounds good.
Jeremy, you want to go through the financial?
Did you approve these minutes? Is that what we just did? For the
Right,
meeting?
I missed the minutes.
Yeah, from last meeting.
We have minutes from October 19th, 2021. What are the wishes of the board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Shanda. Any discussion? Roll call.
David,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
Bo,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Barry.
Yes.
Motion carried. Now we'll do the financial.
Hey, guys. So right now, our current cash fund balance between the two accounts, the Blacktail account and the Parks General account, the total is approximately $603,000. Last month, or that last month's numbers was approximately $625,000. The big chunk of that is the electrical work at Little Egypt. That little drop there. It's just $22,000, but half of that is the electrical work, and the rest is fuel and fee or in payroll and whatnot. So not spending a lot of money. The one other thing, we'll have some expenses to continue to pay WSB, and then also to pay off the finishing work at Little Egypt. So those will be the big bills left before the end of the year, which won't be a lot. And then the other one, just so I always keep track of the oil revenue. For the year, we're at 64,000 approximately. You know, it's been 10 months, so 6,400 a month. The last 3 months we've been over 8,400. This month it was 8,485. So we've kind of consistently, we were sitting there in the 4,000 or 5,000s to begin the year. We worked our way up. Now the last 3 months we've been sitting in that mid $8,000 amount for our oil revenues. Otherwise, financially, that's all I got.
Great, thank you. Any other questions on that? Okay, let's go into new business. New park board member. We have a recommendation from the county commission for Brad Hinchin. What are the wishes of this board?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we ratify the appointment of Brad Hinchins as the new park board member.
We have a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion? Roll call?
Bo,
Yes.
Shanda,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Motion carried. Welcome aboard, Brad.
Thank you. Great to be on board.
Jeremy, you want to talk about the meeting schedule for
Yep,
22?
I have it it's near the back of your packet, right, I think in front of the parks maps. Just has a list of the dates. All year next year, all the dates are the third Tuesday of the month at 9:30 here in this meeting. We don't have any holidays or anything else that makes us change our dates. So those are the dates listed. As long as no one sees any issues with that, is that something we need to make a motion and approve? I thought so, yeah. So as long as you guys don't see any changes, so that's pretty straightforward. All of them third Tuesday of the month.
What are the wishes?
I would make a motion to approve the dates for 22 park board meetings.
Is there a second? Second. Motion and second, any discussion? Roll call, Lindsay?
Shanda,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Bo.
Yes.
Motion carried. Going into discussion items, online reservation system.
We continue to work with My Sites. We are pretty far along. They've created they had to start off by creating maps of each park, created all the maps, and with the campsites in sight and all the amenities in sight. So first they had to have their artistic people create those. They did that. We approved them. Now they've since gone in and did all the computer code that goes behind it to make everything work. And they have just, I think, Little Egypt left, and they may have finished that up yesterday. And so all of those will be done. I would anticipate early to mid-December we'll be like completely live. Not that we're taking any fees from anyone or anything like that, but live enough that we can play around and we can work with it and we can use it and decide how we want to go. So that process has been going really good. I think the only thing really slowing it down, if all, is me, because I'm kind of looking at maps and taking my time and making sure we get it. But I still feel good about the pace we're on. I don't think we're going to have an overflow of camping here in the next couple months. So it's going real well. I'm hoping that, we have to still decide, some issues as far as like which sites do we want to make that you can reserve a year in advance or however far we decide in advance, and which ones do we want to leave that you can just show up and camp that day. But we'll have the flexibility with this site to do that. So once we get in next month, start playing around a little bit, learn what we can do, and then hopefully after the first of the year, I'd like to come with you some recommendations of, well, first show you how it works, and then give you some recommendations of how I'd like to do things. So I think we're tracking along really well on schedule.
Great. Any questions for Jeremy on the reservations?
I can't remember if I asked you will we have like a QR code or something that will bring people to the
Yes.
My Sites
Yep,
page?
yep.
So if they show up and they want to know, is this site taken, they can
Exactly.
scan the QR and.
Yep, you could show up at, like I said, I kind of envision it where even if we have the day of, you can, like we say we're at Blacktail and we decide half the sites you can reserve 2 months in advance, but half you can only go the day of. Even, a day of, you just can't register till 11 o'clock that day, right? So today you can't register till 11. But then, right, just on our message boards, which, by the way, the message boards that Lindsay helped me get through the tourism fund are fantastic. I'd really like to buy a couple more. They're really nice. But we'll have a QR code right in there, right by where you pay. Where the old pay post was, or where the pay post is, you can just hit it right there and it'll take you right to the map, show you what's available, go from there. I said it's been a good process so far, but we're almost to the part where we really get to play around and really dig in and learn it. And it'll be a good time next month. December and January are good months to play around and kind of master that stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Anything else? Okay, let's go on to the WSB Master Plan open houses.
I'll start real quick and just remind you, tonight we're in Tioga, at the community center. After lunch, I'm gonna run up there, run to the community center, make sure everything's set up. Then I'm gonna run up to McGregor. Got a couple things I wanna do there and check out, and then I'll be back at Tioga about between 4:30, and then the open house is at 5. And then Thursday, we have our open house at the library here in town from 5 to 7. Wednesday. Thursday's our backup day.
So the date on here is wrong, correct? Isn't this tomorrow night?
Yeah, it should be the 17th.
17th, okay.
Yeah. Yep, correct. Thursday was our backup day in Tioga. I'm sorry. If we had bad weather, we were worried about right now being weather, so we took Thursday as our backup day. That's right. Sorry. Thank you. Other than that, I'll let Candace take over from there.
Good morning. All right. Just hit share.
At the bottom?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Sometimes those little header bars cover my tools, though. Good morning. All right, last time we met, I showed you some conceptual ideas for each of the park sites, just to get your feedback on the things that you liked, didn't like, so we could kind of combine them into one plan. And so that's what we have done, and we have these plans all set. They were in your packet. Hopefully you could read them. The text is kind of small because these will be printed on large, like 24 by 36 boards for our open house meetings. And so what we want to get out of our meetings is just talk with residents, anyone from the community to get their feedback and their reaction to the conceptual or the schematic plans that we've prepared. And at this point, you know, you've had a little bit of a chance to look at them, but I would like to get some feedback from you as to whether or not this is what you envisioned when, after we met last time and we combined all these ideas into one preferred plan and move forward. And then the other thing I want to get feedback on are, you know, general ideas on what you feel is important on each of these park sites, because obviously you're not going to have enough money to fund everything all at once. So we really need to get a good understanding of what you, as well as community residents, feel is important in terms of priorities, in whether it's the actual park sites that we focus on or specific improvements at each of the sites. And so I'm just going to keep this very high level because we have a limited amount of time and a lot of parks to get through. But Blacktail Dam, so we did go ahead and we've combined some of the ideas where we took that bypass road, created that bypass road so that the main road no longer goes straight through the campground. And that way it allows people who have, you know, cabins out here to go right past that campground without going through it. That improves the experience of that camping there as well as the safety. The other thing we've done is we've moved a lot of the campsites into more of a campground layout. So some of them are actually pulled away from that shoreline. So that peninsula where campsite number 9 was located, that is now more of a recreational area. We have added a swimming beach on that side. We have moved, if you wanted to do an inflatable playground out in the water, move that out of the channel so it's in a safer location, as you had mentioned. We have also moved the boat ramp over to more of the entrance, along the entrance area. So that allows somebody who is entering into that campground to launch their boat and leave again without actually, again, having to drive straight through the campground where people are camping. Group campsites were important, so we kept some of those in there as well. And we do show pedestrian trail wrapping all the way around the lake, and with a focus on some of these nature trails or prairie trails in this area where some of those ATV activities are currently taking place. And so we moved the ATV OHV area into this undeveloped parcel over on this side, on the west. And we have also made note that this could be a future expansion area. So if you wanted to add more campsites per one of our conceptual plans, that this is where that could take place. The other nice thing is if you have that ATV use going on over there, it might attract people who want to camp specifically for that activity. So in those situations, you want to design your campsites a little bit differently to accommodate not only their camper, but storage space for the trailers and their vehicles out here as well. So just something to keep in mind. We have kept your existing golf course the way it is, but improved this area up in the northwest corner for more of those primitive tent sites. Again, just making it a nice experience because you have a beautiful area up here. And then we have shown 5 right now camper cabins kind of up on this hillside, kind of overlooking that northwest area since it is kind of a quieter location. Along the existing beach area, we have removed a few of the campsites along that beach to create more of a parking space, move the playground up the hill a little bit on more level ground, and expand that opportunity and just improve the existing campsites. And then we've created an area back in the trees, so you'd have to remove some of these trees for additional back-end campsites just to make up for what we removed along the beach itself. We have also shown an area where you could have that gated enclosure and for storage space, maybe rental facilities. Again, a revenue generating opportunity for the county to consider. And with that, again, just kind of focusing on some of these smaller pedestrian improvements such as, you know, along this prairie trail. That could be where disc golf could take place. You could have winter cross-country skiing and some sledding opportunities, whether it's this little shallow hill for the younger kids or the steep one that goes straight down the steep hillside and across the lake itself. So with that, again, I wanted to just keep this quick overview and any feedback from you as to whether you think this is what you envisioned after the last time we talked and maybe some priorities to think of moving forward.
Just a semantics thing, and this
Yeah.
is for Brad's benefit. I think to change the name on the bottom left corner from Blacktail Dam to Blacktail City. That's all I got.
That's funny, Steve.
Anybody got any questions or anything to add? I think it looks great.
All right.
I do have one quick question.
Yes.
The fire hall.
Yes.
What was considered the fire hall?
So what we have labeled for the fire hall is you have two options. So keep the fire hall, renovate it, maybe bring it up to code. We do show kind of an outdoor plaza space. So if you want to have activities, events, those types of things next to the fire hall, we've kept that in this location. We've also accounted for if you wanted to remove it and replace it with a different building, you still have that option. Considering how much cost might go into renovating, it might be a better option to just, you know, if you have to do a feasibility study to see what the different costs are. But for the length of time you get out of that building, those are things to consider. We also have more parking opportunities by that fire station, so you see a little bit more green space there. And so if there are events that it can serve as overflow parking at that point.
Okay.
Good question. All right, so we will move on to Epping Springbrook. What we have done based on the comments we received from you is we did go ahead and show an alternative route into the park site so that we can try and get a little bit more length to that road and maybe reduce the steepness of it. And by doing that, we can look for opportunities to divert or capture some of that runoff that is currently coming through that culvert and causing some like serious erosion issues and runoff into the lake. So hopefully we can reduce that amount of erosion, improve some of the water quality before it actually enters the lake as well. So by moving that road, we are kind of taking people to this main entrance point at right here where we kind of showed, we call it a little traffic circle or a roundabout, but it can be an intersection as well. Again, we were just trying to lengthen that road so we can reduce the slope. But what we did is we've created more of a distinct day use area. So you see the development alongside the existing beach. So we kept the existing beach at a specific beach that could include specifically for dogs with a little dog run area next to it. We have a lot of picnic opportunities that serves as a trailhead for the trail system out here. And we do show a potential boardwalk kind of off to the side to get to this little point here where there's a little shelter. So again, this is more of your day use area. So we separated that more from the campground. So the campground is as we move north. We have shown the relocated boat ramp since we have taken that boat ramp out and created, you know, the day use beach in that location. As we extend further north, we have created pull-through sites. So that's kind of out in that open lawn right now, just where we have more room for the actual stalls. Because right now, people can't back their vehicles and campers into that area along the trees very well without skewing it one way or the other because there's just not that space. So we've left some of those as more informal or primitive sites and then some, you know, designated tent campsites where they would have a little bit more protection for the tents and then again, more of the RVs and some of the group sites in this location. As we extend further north, we have created more of a recreational area specifically for the campground, so they might have their own small beach area. They could have like a volleyball court, some picnic shelters, and then again, just trail connections up to there with a little turnaround for the traffic. Up along the hillside, again, we have shown some camper cabin options. So once we get up on that hill, they have beautiful views kind of looking north across that lake at that point, and then again, trail systems. One thing you'll notice on this plan is that we have shown that there is an area where we would like to either acquire the actual land or get a designated easement because there's a lot of, this is an existing condition right now is you have recreational use on private property, or maybe there's options to do a land swap. So maybe there's some area of the parkland that the private owner would be willing to swap that. Otherwise, just work for either an acquisition or an easement for that, and for the trail system as well that extend off of the park property itself. All right, so quick questions or comments on this plan? Good, all right. Next we have, let's take, there we go. Code array. This one was pretty straightforward again. So instead of having that alternate road that kind of goes up into the high ground, we have just kept one main entrance road coming in. There will be one section that will be a little steeper to make that incline. And then we have the campground stalls that we have remained up here. In the event that that the stall length, we can't get the length that we want, we're suggesting that you make these a little extra wide so that they have room for their vehicles to park alongside the camper. It comes down, makes a circle all the way around and connects back again. We really didn't do a whole lot here other than just try to reduce the amount of roadways going through here, just for better organization of the campsite. So where they're currently doing group camping or individual campsites on that lower area here, we've left it that way. We just kind of improved the conditions so you don't have a bunch of roads kind of bisecting through there. But we've swapped the location of the beach and the boat launch again. So again, we wanted that boat launch kind of more as you get right down here and then left the beach off to the side where it's a little quieter. And then we just created this more of a tent camping along this area just because it's really difficult to get vehicles through there. And then again, same turnaround. And then we show the option of developing this northern parcel. So you would have a roadway in here, parking area. You could develop this any way you want to. We show it with like a playground. We actually show building out at this site with could be showers and restrooms, some camper cabins alongside of that, and again, some more of the play space and a little track course for it with a nice little trail system that would have to wind its way down the hillside to get access down to the lake edge with like a pier or dock. You guys are really quiet this morning. All right, so any questions, I'll just move on. All right, Little Egypt. All right, so again, for the most part, we have kept your existing campsites, but what we've done is we've punched them through so that they would actually be pull through. So you would enter from the south, pull up this direction, and that way your use space is kind of facing more of the lake. And it kind of shows the expansion area here. So Jeremy obviously has just finished up construction on adding 8 more stalls. How it's shown right here does not reflect exactly how they've gone in. We're going to refine that once we understand the whole circulation of it at that point. And we've connected this road, so it's going to come straight through here and enter the inside of this tree area. So as needs demand, and the demands, increase for more campsites, you can add on. So we have like different options for group campsites along this roadway. And then as it exits, we've relocated a dump station right at that point before you exit. So you notice we have like this main loop coming through. So what we've done is created this as more of that day use space. This allows for more recreational value and it allows more area for people to expand out. So we do see historically this site gets a lot of that day use beach activities. And we just want to make sure that we're not prohibiting that activity and actually accounting for it. One of the things that was brought to my attention is that where the newer campsites were just installed, is, I guess some people like to use that as like a wedding venue, and I did not know that before. So what I might do is slide this structure in like the little amphitheater a little further out so that you'll still have that beautiful backdrop of the lake behind you, so you can still account for some of those activities. Again, we have like a variety of trail systems running through here. This could be like a challenge course or it could be another disc golf course. Again, that will be as like people, tell us, what they would prefer out here. And again, we've just left more of the tent campsites that are more protected along the trees. That's currently taking place, but again, we've just made some improvements for access to it, improvements in terms of an actual shower restroom building at this location, improved playground, and then added picnic shelters. And then up on the northeast here, so we have, again, added some options for camper cabins that could be terraced into that hillside. And then we have the parking lot just slid over a little bit because right now it's on a bit of a slope and we want to just get that on a little bit more level terrain. And then you have your winter access that was also just improved upon.
Tell me what a tent wheel is.
It is, so it gives you the option, all it is like tent camping around one central point that has like a picnic shelter in it. So a lot of times if like there's families out there and they want to set up camp all the way around it, they can do it. You can also do it individually. And it's just a little bit different experience than more of the tent campsites that are really spread apart for a little bit more privacy.
Maybe you can put electrical in the middle too, because people still, even though they're not hooked up their campers, they still want to charge their phones. And like I said, just kind of.
I was just gonna ask that on all of our primitive sites, would it be worth considering just having a, 110 hookups?
More and more, yes.
Yep. And then I know one of the things that was brought up last time I met was the removal of some of the existing trees out here, and I did meet with the Corps. And as long as we're replacing trees elsewhere, they're good with that. They're especially good with us removing Russian olives because they don't like those tree types. They're considered invasive, so anything we can do to improve the species out here would be greatly appreciated.
Wow.
Yeah.
You must have a way with the Corps.
Okay.
I think the guys we have in the local office right now, I think they're a little overwhelmed with the workload. I think the guys in the local office, I think they have a lot of work to do, and they're just happy seeing someone take care of the land and make it nice and make it better so people can use it. So I think as long as we stay on a good path where we're communicating with them and making improvements, I think we're gonna be able to do things there.
Yep, and the guy from
to
the
go.
Corps that I talked with, he was like, I would go out and use this, and my wife loves going out here, and, we would use this if you put this here. The only, caveat to this site is that you have to do cultural studies anytime you want to proceed with any of the improvements, so just keep that in mind. And that might affect, because they might go, oh, no, you can't do something there because we know there's something at that point, so you need to find an alternate location for that.
That's great news. Keep it up.
Okay. All right, and then McGregor Dam. So again, I sent information on to Game and Fish, but I need to reconnect with him to get some feedback from them. So what we've done is we've shown like improvements. So if you were to expand upon some of the campsites in the future, we should probably focus on where the existing campsites are in this little peninsula on the west side. What we tried to do is create more of a day use area off the main access of Highway 40. So we've improved that with some parking, added a beach location at this point, playground. It could be a half court out here as well. And, if you wanted to, you could have that option of either having some back-end sites or tent camping off to the side of that. But again, I think we just mainly wanted to focus on those day use, park recreational types of activities here. And we've actually shown adding some, my mouse is a little fidgety here, pull-through sites a little further down closer to the boat launch. So we have some terrain here where that could accommodate that. And it would be right next to the boat launch, so it would be convenient for them at that site. And then again, further down the road, we've just shown a disc golf course on that terrain down there. And again, those nice areas for if you wanted to add cross-country skiing, if people would use it for that out here, you can do that. We do know that people like to use their kayaks out here and everything, so we do have like an option of you can either put like a storage unit out here, or maybe it's a kayak or paddle share program, so that people who don't have equipment can actually come out here, just rent it and use it for the day. So not too many changes on this one. Okay. No comment? All right. And then Lookout Park, all we've done is kind of shown some improvements because obviously this is, one of the more recently developed park sites, so it has a pretty new playground. Just has a court that went in that's a basketball with pickleball overlay. So we're just saying in the future, maybe have some walk connections so that it improves the accessibility to the amenities you have there, and maybe a shade structure. So we just want to maintain that open lawn space, especially since we can't really do anything over that pipeline. All right, and then we're showing a vision board. So obviously we don't have another, property secured or anything at this point. So we just brought this vision board, or we're bringing this vision board out, and to talk with people about future opportunities for adding on to the park system. and, focusing on some more of the four-season, especially some of the winter types of recreation. And again, we just showing examples, photo examples, and some of these you've seen before as well. And then the overall map so people can get acquainted with where all the parks are located when we talk with them. And so that's what we're bringing out through our open house meetings and hope to get some feedback from people. And we've had pretty good sharing, so I've shared information through social media for our meeting in Tioga tonight. We've had a lot of people reshare that information, so hopefully the 90-mile-an-hour winds don't keep people at home, and then they come out and talk with us.
I just have a quick question about maybe like a summertime activity. A lot of my friends, I know a lot of the parks have, what am I thinking, horseshoe pits? Is there a such thing, I don't know if there even is, as a more permanent cornhole type structure?
There is.
That aren't,
Yes.
I feel like that's, a big hit for camping people. And I think maybe putting a couple of those by horseshoe pits would take off pretty well.
Yep. A lot of people we see kind of bring their own, the portable ones with the wood. They're slipperier, for the bags to go in there. But we have concrete ones that we've designed that are more permanent. You just have to have a nice polish finish on them so that you get the same effect with it.
Looks great. I don't really have a lot of questions. Anybody got any questions or any comments?
How does it? Yeah, that's a great question. The pickleball is just such a huge thing right now.
Yes.
And it seems like it's relatively inexpensive to kind of put a court together.
It's not too inexpensive.
Oh, okay. Concrete?
Or bituminous. So we do it bituminous a lot with a color-coded surface over the top, and then the netting all the way around. What people are really looking for are dedicated pickleball courts.
Yeah.
So they really don't like it when you put pickleball over the top of tennis as a dual-purpose thing because they use a lower net and a different set of lines, so they get confused when even if they're a different color of all the different line structures. And they just want their own dedicated space for doing that because it's as much a social event as it is physical. So they like to get out there with their groups and have like a whole court system of them, usually about at least 4 to 8 at one site.
Wow. It's warm up for retirement. It's a place for people to go when they're up here in the summertime.
Yeah.
But I would make fun of my folks and all these crazy people that love this pickleball so much, and then I played. It's fantastic. It's really fun.
Well, it's amazing. So like in my community, we have an area with a pickleball court.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and there are younger kids, like in their 20s out there with groups as well as, some of the seniors using them. So.
Well, I just visited my brother-in-law in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and in Saskatoon, there's more pickleball courts now than there are tennis ball courts.
Yes.
And so and we played probably 3-4 hours a day. It was bonkers.
Wow.
So, anyway, might be, I like the idea that it's at Lookout Park. It's right next door to me. But.
Okay, so that's what I'm bringing out to the community, and we'll get some feedback on there. And I think I heard somebody say costs. Yes. No, so obviously with any system plan, you're not going to be able to fund it all at once, and that's when priorities come into play. The other thing are looking for grant opportunities that might help. So there might be things through the state that are coming out because there are some funds going to outdoor recreation that will help, supplement some of these things, especially if they are attracting, a region-wide level. So that'll be very important. If, you show that importance, you can get some money to kind of help put those in there. But we kind of come up with a phasing plan and initial priorities, which can change over time as, the community and demographics change. But will help kind of give you a guide and, how to look at it for implementation.
So Candace, I asked, I believe this before, but at what point are you going to be able to give us a rough estimate for everything at each facility?
We are working on it right now. So we have some high costs kind of put together, but we're trying to get it refined a little bit, especially for the costs within this region.
Well, they're lower now, aren't they?
Huh?
They've gone down considerably, I believe.
Well, yeah. Always. It seems like materials are the things that are really high right now. So that's the one caveat to that. We'll be using current pricing, and current pricing right now is high just because of some of these materials. And so, it's kind of unknown if those are going to remain high in the future, if they're going to go down at all. We just don't know at this point. Yep. And the other thing we do is we estimate as if a contractor is actually doing the work. So obviously there are some things that the county can probably do in-house and to save some of that money, but we'll be estimating it as if you're hiring somebody else to do that.
Anything else that anybody has? I mean, I'm just excited because this is the first step in getting those grants, is a lot of times having to show what the plan actually is.
Yes.
And we're gonna have that plan. So, I think it looks great, and I can't wait till we get moving.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Back to you, Jeremy.
Okay, I'll be real quick, and we'll just kind of talk about some of the things we've been working on. I will. We all the signs, message boards, and all that we purchased earlier this year are all installed at all the parks. We have also just finishing up doing some landscaping work, putting some retaining walls or some retaining wall blocks around them, just making them look pretty. So just kind of finishing that up. We've been doing, like I said before, we've done a lot of painting. All the vault toilets at Blacktail, the out exterior have been painted on all of them. All of the doors at Blacktail have all been repainted. And then a lot of the other parks too. A lot of the other parks, the exterior of the vault toilets have that rock pebble exterior, so it doesn't get painted. But the doors all got repainted, and the month of October allowed us a lot of time to paint. But specifically to parks, Blacktail, our free time at Blacktail, we've kind of got everything cleaned up pretty well there. When we have free time there, we're splitting wood. Still working on that process, splitting and going through. The highway guys are still bringing us more wood. We have a lot up there, and we just keep plowing away on our free time. Epping Springbrook Dam, we've had 2 different times recently. We've had some graffiti, definitely juvenile, just inappropriate, and you can tell it's not gangs, it's juvenile kids out there. The first time they spray painted 2 things, both of them on white buildings, so we quick just painted it up, you didn't notice it. And then last week, right before it snowed, they have 6 or 7 spots around. The next day, we went through and painted it, covered up, took pictures of all of them and sent them to the sheriff and talked to him a little bit. We both agreed the cold weather will probably slow that down here. But nothing other than a little paint to clean it up. It wasn't too much damage. Little Egypt, those new sites are put in, and then also the ice access is in and done. We have a little work with the fence around there. We put in a new gate. But immediately to the right of the gate, there's a decent stretch, probably 10 to 12 feet, that is just braided wire. So when you're driving up to it, it looks like there's nothing there. It looks like that's the open pathway to go through. So we're gonna have to put some type of boards or reflective tape or something on there. But other than that, the ice access is ready to go. I have a key. I've talked to the Corps. They'll let me know when to open it. And not that they can't do it, but I told them, hey, just let me know. We'll open it, we'll close it. So they have other gates that they have to worry about. They're happy to do that. They gave me a key to the court, so if you want to get in another gate. No, just kidding. Actually a key and actually a couple extra core locks just in case I need those. Yeah.
I just comment, this is what happens when they have a dedicated person to talk to, so it's awesome. That's good to hear we're making those improvements with the Corps.
Yeah. And then otherwise, we went through and the whole fence line all the way around, like towards the beach and everything, we went through and weeded all that, cleaned up all that area. So it's, on our side, and maybe we went under the fence a little bit on their side, but it looks really nice. And then same thing, we've cleaned up the front entryway where we talked before about the sign. We cleaned up a lot of it. We put in our new sign and cleaned up all the trees around there. It looks nice. It'll be nice when we can start planting new trees in next year. We'll go through that annual management plan that we have with the Corps, and a big part of it's gonna be taking out trees and putting new trees in.
Are you getting with the NRCS people and do they plant and then put fabric down too for a weed barrier?
Oh,
or
I
not?
didn't know about that, but I sure
Well,
can.
no, but I didn't know, I mean, because that weed barrier, it makes all the difference,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of spendy, but,
But if you can get them,
yeah.
Now is a good time to talk to the Soil Conservation District is who it is.
Yep.
And then, yeah,
Yeah. I just actually just emailed her yesterday.
okay. So
Yesterday morning.
you've met Molly then?
Yep. I went up there last year. Last year, near the end of the year, she ended up with about 50 bare roots that she didn't know what to do with. So she contacted me, and then I used some of them, and then I actually gave them a lot to the city of Epping because they had people that would plant them and use them. But I met her then, and then I emailed her yesterday so we could start. So I could tell her what I wanted and what she could get me, and she's super helpful. So Lookout Park, we have benches and picnic or in a garbage can, and then installed the new sign installed, and then we have the slab poured up there. Basketball hoops in, the post is in. The basketball hoops is going up today, so there'll be a hoop up. Next spring we'll put the surfacing on and paint the lines. I think we're gonna do it in-house. The surfacing is like roll on. Roll it on. You can buy it at Menards, and then just paint lines. So I think we're going to try to do that right away in-house in the spring. I did look around to try to contact someone to come and do it. It's a really small job for someone to come as far as they have to that does that professionally, that's their job. There's a guy in Billings, there's a guy in Fargo. But I'd have to get the park district to want to resurface their tennis courts or something else to go on at the same time, which I'm not against seeing because I know that Davidson Park is due to be resurfaced. It's about that time, so I'll make that phone call, but I'm also okay with trying to do it myself. I don't think it's a big project. I'm already interested about drawing a 3-point line. I think that'll be fun. So really excited about that. Again, thanks to George Hawks for donating the slab, getting it taken care of. Haven't done a lot of improvements up at McGregor. Depending on how these next couple weeks go and how cold it gets, we haven't torn out that restroom. We might tear out an old restroom there. I've been talking with Dana from the health department quite a bit about septic systems and toilets and to circle back to Little Egypt, we went above 15 sites and we provide water there, so we have to do a few more things with the Department of Environmental Quality. So I've started that process with them. Once you get over 15, you have to be part of the North Dakota water system, and you have to do this, this, and this. So started that process. Going to be working on that. Sorry to circle back there. And then same thing. Not a lot we've done at Coda Ray other than some painting and cleaning up. I think that's all I have.
Great, thank you, Jeremy. Anybody got any other last questions? I think the only thing I have, we discussed not meeting in December. Is that something that you're still good with?
I'm comfortable with. I don't know if Candace, if you're good with us coming back in January and working what you have. I don't see anything that I need to have that I need. Just the results of this, right? Of Candace's work is the only thing that we have.
We had kind of advertised that the final master plan would be released by the end of the year, but I don't think there's any qualms with just saying that based on public input and how this process has gone, those updated plans will be provided in early 2022.
Okay, so I would assume we need a motion. What are the wishes of the board? Do we want to cancel the meeting on December 21st?
I'd make that a motion and reconvene in January.
So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, Lindsay.
Steve,
Yes.
Corey,
Yes.
Barry,
Yes.
Brad?
Yep.
David?
Yes.
Bo?
Yes.
Shanda?
Yes.
Motion carried. If that's it, we are adjourned.